Today we're going to start working on the sports bottle, and this has two parts to it. It's got a cap and it's got the bottle itself, and we're going to talk about some different parts here. We're going to talk about the revolve. It's going to use the revolve quite a bit, and we'll use the shell command and some other things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. If you haven't done it already, let's go File and New Design. And let's, before we get started too far, let's change this in the Getting Started tab here to millimeters, mm, and then you can minimize that. Let's start our sketch here by going to Create a Sketch, and I'd like you to start with this bottom orange box here, this bottom plane, and we're going to go to Sketch and Circle, or again you can press the C on the keyboard and enter the circle command. I'm going to start my first circle right here in the center and move out like that. I'm going to draw another circle, and it's going to be right along this red line here, and it's going to be a little smaller, something like that. Okay, let's go to Sketch and Sketch Dimensions, and we're going to dimension this big circle to 65 millimeters and press enter. Then this smaller one is going to be at 25 millimeters and press enter. And then from center to center, and then click up here somewhere, the centers are going to be 65 millimeters apart. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Line, and we're going to click on the outside of this circle. I'm going to move up until I see this little symbol here. It's a circle with a line on it, and it says it's a tangent constraint. So I'm going to click right there, and a tangent is a line that connects the outsides of two curved or circular objects like this. So I have a line here to here, and we're going to do the same thing on the bottom now. From here, move along this outside edge until that tangent pops up right there, and I'm going to click again. Now I have a circle, and then a shaded area here connecting the two, and I want to actually delete this part of this circle and this part as well. So I'm going to go to Sketch, and I'm going to go to Trim. I'm going to trim off this part of the circle and the inside of this circle here. So I'm left with this shape. It's a small curve, a line, a big curve, and then another line connecting them. I'm going to hit Stop Sketch, and I'm going to go to Extrude. We'll click on this shape right here, and I'm going to extrude it to 160 millimeters and press enter. And so there is my start of the sports bottle. Now the next thing we're going to do might get a little tricky, but we're going to draw a shape here. I'm going to cut it out for the handle. So let's go to Create a Sketch, and I'd like you to select the plane that is right here. It cuts right down. If you rotate around, you can see it cuts right down the middle of our bottle that we started. So I'm going to click on this one right here, and we should be looking at the side of our bottle. And actually what we are doing is we are actually, since we clicked on that plane, we are actually going to be drawing inside of the bottle right in the middle of it, which is what we want. Okay, so let's draw a circle, or two circles actually. So we can go to Sketch and Circle, Center Diameter Circle, or again just press C. And somewhere in this area I'm going to draw a circle there. And then if you move your mouse just straight down, see that little dotted line? I'm going to click and draw a circle somewhere in there. Now we haven't really talked about this sketch palette too much, but if you enlarge this and scroll down here to constraints, I'd like you to find the one down here that says equal. It's a little equal sign, and I'm going to click on the equal sign there, and I'd like to make this circle equal to this circle. Now watch what happens. Both circles are the same size now. And so if I dimension this one, it's going to change the size of this one. And so that's a helpful little tool for us. Okay, so let's press the letter D for dimension. Or again, you can go to Sketch and Sketch Dimensions, whichever way you want to do it. Let's dimension this circle right here, just to show what it's going to do. I want to set my dimension there, and this is going to be 30. I'm going to press enter, and you can see it changed the size of both of them by having them equal. Now let's go to our line, and we'll click on the outside of this circle and move straight down till you see that tangent symbol down here, and click there. Now I'm going to click up here on this circle and move straight down to the tangent symbol in there. It's a little hard to see because of the equal sign. Okay, now let's draw another line right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You might have to as well. I want to go right on the outside edge of our bottle. Let me zoom out a little bit. Right along there. So I have a line just on the outside edge of the bottle, and then I want another line over this way, if I can. And something like that. Okay. So I have a line, and my two circles with lines here. Let's go and press D for dimension. And I'd like this, the middle of this circle and the middle of this circle. Move over this way and click, and I want those two to be let me think about that for a second. I want them to be I want these two to be 90 apart. Something like that. And then I want this circle, center of that circle, and this top edge to be 20 apart, or like that. Actually, change that, double click on that 20 and make it 35. I'm sorry. So 35 from the top edge to the center of the circle, and 90 from center to center. I'm going to press the escape key on my keyboard and get out of the dimension command. I'm going to click on this line right here, and under the sketch palette you see normal construction. I want to make this a construction line, which means it's going to turn dotted and it's just a reference line. I also want to do the same thing with this line right here and make it a construction line. So I have two. It might be hard to see now, but this is a dotted line and this is a dotted line, and they won't actually show up in our drawings. They'll just be more for a reference, but you'll see that here in a minute. Now I need to trim off this part of the circle and this part of the circle, so I'll go to Sketch and go to Trim and click here and click here and get rid of those. Okay, now it's time to do some more dimensioning, so I'm going to press the letter D for dimension, and I'm going to go from let's see here, the center of this circle to this orange line that we drew, this dotted line right here, and move up here, and I want that to be 40. And now you see it moved our line instead of our circle. So we're going to do, we're going to go from this line to this point right here, and click there and type in 0. Maybe I didn't like that. How about 0.1? Guess we gotta do the same thing down here. Hopefully yours kind of works out a little bit better. 0.1. If you have any questions on that, just let me know. I'll be happy to try to help you out. And it looks like we've got to do the same thing here. Dimension from this circle, or the center of that circle to this line. And that looks right. Something just looks a little off here. Let me dimension from this center of this circle to this line. Well, 40. I don't know about you guys. I'm just looking a little. Things aren't looking quite lined up. There it goes. Okay, that should be 40. Alright, so I know that, I'm sorry that was a little confusing, but if you have any questions on that, just raise your hand, I'll come help you. Then we're going to go from this dotted line to this dotted line right there, and I want that to be 30. That should shift that over. Okay. A lot of dimensions here, and I'm sorry, again, if you have questions, just ask, and I'll try to get you pointed in the right direction. But if you have all these, go ahead and hit Stop Sketch. And now I'm going to rotate just a little bit so I can see what I have going on here. And I'm going to go to Create, and find the Revolve tool right here, Revolve. And I want to get at this shape that we just drew in this sketch. And so I'm going to go to Bodies. I'm going to turn off this body right here. I'm just going to hit that little light bulb. So hit the little arrow here by Bodies, and hit that little light bulb. You can turn it off and on. You're just basically showing it and hiding it. That's all you're doing. So if you don't have a Revolve up, again, go to Create, Revolve, and the Revolve little tool palette pops up here. And it wants to know the profile. So I'm going to click on this shape. Next thing, it wants to know the axis that we're going to revolve around. So I'm going to select that one, and I'm going to click on this outside dotted line that we drew. Now I'm going to go to the bodies again and turn the light bulb back on for that. And it should turn red. If it doesn't, under Operation right here, make sure it says Cut. And that'll cut that out. Hit OK. And so there is the handle of our sports bottle. If you have any questions on that, and I know we got a little confused, but just make sure you ask. I'll be happy to help you. Let's go ahead and save it as sports bottle and hit save, and we'll move on to our next step.